Welcome ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to take a look at the Magicka Templar PvP build for the Summerset Chapter. This is a very damage orientated build and it's optimized for Battlegrounds. However, it also works in Cyrodiil, Champion Points and non-Champion Points campaign. I do have a written guide for this build on my website, link in the description below. So when we look at our stats, now we are in the CP campaign. When I use that stuff here, we have a lot of resistance because we're in heavy armor, crit resistance is high, recovery as well, and all the resources look really nice. Now we will go to the non-CP campaign. As you can see, our stats have changed a little bit. Those stats here now represent the Battleground stats. And you see, spell damage will go higher to about 2.4, 2.5k once the spell damage enchantment is procced here on the weapon, and we can keep this up almost 100%. So we have quite a lot of spell damage. And now one important thing about this build, what you need to learn is the magic recovery. Sustain can sometimes be very tough. And I am currently running the tri-stat food, however you can also choose to run Witch Mothers. Just keep in mind, your stamina will drop really low and you might want to invest some more extra points in max stam. But usually, if you use tri-stat potions and you do a few heavy attacks from time to time, you will have more than enough sustain. You just need to learn how to manage your resources. But just saying, it's a second option going Witch Mothers, but then invest some more into max stamina. We're running the Atronach Mundus Stone. You can be a vampire if you want. Now, I'm mitigating a lot of damage with block, so it can be very handy to be a vampire due to, like, Undeath reduces your damage taken by up to 33% based on your missing health. It's actually very hard to kill us when we're low health, and we also get a little bit more magic recovery. But like I said, if you're not used to that much playing with Vampire, because it's very dangerous in Cyrodiil or in PvP in general, Battlegrounds, then just get rid of it. You don't necessarily need it. In terms of race, Argonian probably has the best sustain and healing. I'm a high elf. To get a little bit more damage, 10% max Magicka and magic recovery. Dark Elf, Bretons also work. Please make sure to subscribe, more videos in the future. Like I said, this is more or less, the build is almost identical to the previous patch, it's just got some small buffs due to increased light attack damage and so on. Now, the special thing about this build is we combine Elfbane with Zaan. And Zaan does so much damage due to Elfbane, because it increases the duration of your flame damage abilities by 2 seconds. Instead of 5 seconds, it takes 7 seconds. And a lot of enemies don't expect this, and trust me, Zaan is so strong in Battlegrounds. They just get vaporized. It does so much damage, especially on the last ticks. Sometimes I can play full defensive, and when Zaan procs, it just melts through people, especially if they don't have any active healing effects running. Try to get as much impen as possible, maybe a reinforced chest. I run 2 divine here, if possible run well fitted or more impen. I just didn't have any other traits. Try to get the 5 heavy, 1 light, 1 medium. Just so you get 6% from the Undaunted passive here. I only have 4% because I didn't have a light armor Zaan. But yeah, the perfect setup is on my website. The last set what we run is Wizard's Riposte. Now, this helps really much actually reducing the damage on you. This minor main buff on the enemy can apply to several enemies. And all they need to do is critical damage on you. They do 15% less damage, and obviously there is several enemies hitting you and each of them does 15% less damage. That's a lot of reduced damage. Let me see if I Bloodthorn, yeah. If you would like, you could run Bloodthorn instead of Wizard Repulse just to get more sustain. But I really like Wizard Repulse damage mitigation. Then infused weapon damage enchant on the sword. Here just run Impen, Tristat. Back bar and Master Inferno if possible with infused flame damage enchant. This really helps. A lot of people run double sword and board, but trust me, the light attacks and flame reach does so much damage. And if you have a Master's Inferno, flame reach really doesn't cost that much anymore. It's usually more than 3.5k, but with a Master's it's very cheap. If you don't have a Master's weapon, you could run a willpower stuff instead. Champion points, like I said in Battlegrounds you don't really need them, but I also have them on the website if you want to play in Cyrodiil. Very quickly go through. They're very balanced, more or less, this build. Like I said, you can play around if you really want to. You need all class passives. Then one hand and shield, destruction stuff. Heavy armor, because we are a heavy armor build. If you have a light armor piece, also use the light armor, the first two. Maybe medium armor, but it's not mandatory. If you're a vampire, get undeath and supernatural recovery. Fighter skills, you only really need Banish the Wicked. Mage's Guild, if you want, all. We run Structured Entropy here to get spell damage buff, and those gives us a little bit more health. Undaunted, Alliance War if you play in Cyrodiil, racial passives, and medicinal use. Now the skills. So Magicka Templars have quite a unique damage setup. Even though we can play quite tanky, we still have a lot of damage, but like I said, Sun and Elfbane combo, it does the job, okay. Sword and board shield skill setup. So extended ritual. This is really nice because, like always, it cleanses off all the negative effects on you. Reflective light can hit 3 targets, snares them. Also gives you the spell crit rating. Deals a lot of damage. With Elfbane, it lasts 2 seconds longer. Honor the Dead, this heals for so much, and healing anyone who is below 75% health restores 60% of the ability's cost. Purifying Light, now, this is a very strong ability. It cannot be blocked nor dodge rolled when it actually explodes after 6 seconds, so you will kill so many people with this. And yeah, this build has to do a lot with combos, in my opinion. Like I said, we will quickly go show off afterwards what kind of combos you need to know. Channeled Focus, this gives you sustain and gives you spell resistance and physical resistance. And Devouring Swarm, I like this because it obviously heals a lot and it's another dot that you can use for the enemy. Then our back bar, we have Radiant Glory. While we are executing, we also get healed. Structured Entropy, you need to keep this up all the time because it applies major sorcery and it also increases our health. Punishing Sweeps, this heals you, snares the enemy and deals quite a lot of damage. Flame Reach, like I said, I really use this to stun the enemies, and just light attack with Flame Reach deals so much damage. Total Dark, if you apply this on the enemy, if they don't CC break it, it heals you for a lot of damage. This is a key ability. Soul Assault, this is just nice to nuke the Nightblades that try to cloak, and it also obviously deals a lot of damage. And it's very cheap to use. Now just to quickly demonstrate you what combo you need to learn. So like I said, it's all about dots. This is your ranged ability, light attack with this if you want to, it stuns enemies, it can be, and it deals a lot of damage. Now obviously, how do you kill enemies? So, like I said, keep light attacking. You can proc Sun, reflective, purifying. You want to sweep. Then before purify goes off, you want to CC. And that will kill 95% of the players in this game already. It's so easy. And mostly thanks to Purifying Light. Because it's unblockable, like you cannot block the damage. So it can deal like 6-7k damage in one hit. Keep in mind we also have Reflective on the enemy. And while we're doing that we're sweeping. And then before it actually explodes you can use Flame Reach. And maybe Beam, but usually he's dead before it already. If it's still not enough, you can always apply that as well. Just need to learn the timing. It's all about combos in this game. I have listed the combo on my website. Like I said, it's not that hard. Just need to make sure to keep up Structured Entropy. And all your buffs more or less. If your lucky song goes off, maybe not. The game of RNG, you could say. But you don't necessarily always need sun. But obviously, when it goes off, it takes for so much damage. And yes, the enemy can run away. But you can run after him, so it's unlikely that he can break the beam. And you can always see him while sun is on him. Yeah, the build does overall really high damage. And you don't get that much damage because of Wizard Riposte. And so on. I hope the explanation was clear enough, like always. I will try to get some gameplay footage uploaded on YouTube. If that's the case, I will put it on the build page on my website. Please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Cheers.